My wife and mom went on vacation together, but my wife never returned. From the very first day my mom and my wife met, my mom always took advantage of my wife, Lolita. Any way she could use Lolita for her own selfish benefit, she did. So when me and Lolita finally got married, I tried to convince her that we didn't need to spend time with my mom, but she insisted that we had to because she wanted a happy family. So when I came home to find my mom sitting at our kitchen table, rating Lolita's homemade meals on a scale of 1 to 10, I wasn't even surprised, just exhausted. Lolita had cooked 8 different dishes, and my mom was picking at each one like a food critic, making notes on a literal piece of tissue paper. The pasta is a 4 out of 10, too much salt, she announced, while Lolita stood there nodding and taking notes like a student. I wanted to kick my mom out of our home, but Lolita grabbed my arm and whispered, "Please don't do anything. We're finally bonding." She even invited me to a wellness retreat in Mexico. My eyes widened with fear when she said that. My mom never did anything nice without bad intentions, but Lolita kept insisting that my mom had good intentions this time. So, against my better judgment, I said she could go, mainly because I didn't want to be a controlling husband. Fast forward 2 weeks later, and I was driving them to the airport. Lolita was practically bouncing in her seat, talking about how this was their mother-daughter breakthrough. My mom sat in the back, unusually quiet, just smiling. During those 2 weeks while they were gone, I got maybe 3 texts from Lolita total. Apparently the retreat had a digital detox policy, but the woman who returned from the trip 2 weeks later wasn't my wife. I mean, physically it was her, but everything else was wrong. Lolita used to run and jump into my arms after any trip. This time she walked past me like I was a stranger until I called her name. Lolita! When she saw me, she turned to face me with these blank eyes and said, "Greetings, husband," like she was some sort of robot. My mom came up behind her with this massive smile that made my skin crawl with suspicion. "Lolita had an amazing transformation," she exclaimed. "She's a brand new woman." The car ride home was torture. Usually my wife was the type to yap about every little detail of what happened. Now, she was giving me one-word answers. "So how was the retreat?" I asked loudly, trying to make the vibes more lighthearted. "Quite splendid," Lolita responded, with that same blank stare and her hands folded properly on her lap. "So what did you guys get up to?" "Activities," Lolita answered. The more Lolita spoke like a mindless robot, the happier my mom looked, like she was proud of her. After I dropped my mom off, me and Lolita went home and asked if she wanted to watch Netflix. "I don't watch TV anymore," she mumbled, before going to bed at 7:30 p.m. Lolita was usually a night owl who stayed up until 2 a.m. watching Love is Blind. I was hoping she was just tired or something, but the next morning I found her sitting at the kitchen table at 5 a.m., fully dressed, standing in the corner, staring at the wall. "What are you doing?" I asked. "Waiting for you to wake up so I can make breakfast," she said without any emotion. I pulled her into a hug and kissed her forehead. "Honey, is everything okay? You've been acting strange." "Yes, husband." Her face lifted into a smile, but her eyes were still completely blank. She then marched towards the kitchen to make me eggs. My mom came over that morning, and Lolita served her like a maid, while my mom kept making comments about how improved she was. That's when I knew I had to find out what happened at that retreat. While my mom showered, I tore through Lolita's luggage and found brochures hidden in the zip pockets. And after doing research on the name of the retreat, I almost threw up with shock, because it wasn't even close to a wellness retreat. It was a re-education program for wives. My wife was subject to almost 2 straight weeks of dehydration, starvation, sleep deprivation, and oxygen deprivation, which basically gave her brain a permanent lobotomy effect. I'm usually a pretty calm dude, but for the first time in my life, I was seeing red. As soon as I heard my mom's shower turn off in my bathroom, I banged on her door with my fist. Thump, thump, thump. "Mom, open up right now!" She slowly opened the door, and I shoved the brochure in her face. "What the F is this?" My mom was now beaming with pride. "I fixed her," she said. "Everything on the brochure is true. The men in Mexico practically gave her a lobotomy. Now she can't embarrass our family anymore. You should thank me." I got a restraining order against my mom, but it didn't bring Lolita back. She still functions, but there's nothing behind her eyes anymore. No spark, no joy, no opinions, no dreams. I spend every day looking at this stranger wearing my wife's face, wondering if the woman I fell in love with is still there somewhere.